Let's give another hand for Vic. That was his first show of all time. Awesome. Well, let's go on to our next performer, another first timer for all of you. Let's give it up for Laila.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Yeah. No, I'm not doing that good either. This is like Tyler said, my first ever show, and unfortunately, it's like 5 minutes of me ragging on my parents, which meant that I could not invite them. Although, even if I could have invited them, they would not have come. My mom actually hasn't spoken to me since Christmas. True story, I ate her French toast. So, I apparently disrupted the tradition, and I ruined the Christmas spirit by eating this French toast before everyone was ready. My mother is Muslim, so I don't know what the big deal was. But I ate her French toast. So my mom is Muslim and my dad is Catholic, which is great because I get twice as many holidays and they're not even divorced yet. I'm not going to tie this into my split dyed hair because I really hope they don't split, but I do get a little bit from both sides. It's nice growing up with both religions. For example, something I get asked a lot is if I eat pork. Because Muslims don't eat pigs, and the answer is yes, I do eat bacon, but I like it so crispy that it's basically burned, just to remind me of like the fiery pits of hell that Allah is going to send me to for consuming it. But speaking of my mother, 9/11, I know we were all as a Muslim, I think that it's really horrible when people say things like Bush did 9/11 because it's mean, it's insensitive, it's offensive, it's definitely cultural appropriation because like that's my generational trauma. I think we can leave the white man out of it. You guys have Columbine, you guys have the Ellen Show. You don't need to take this from me. But no, my mom was telling me about like how that whole September was for her and how horrible like the hate crimes were. Her family couldn't leave the house, her aunts, her cousins, her sisters, and there was one, I was alive for this, I remember it very clearly. It was really awful. We went to a restaurant, my whole family, and my mom was intentionally served ham. And then she was like, Laila, this isn't what I asked you to get me from the salad bar. I think you need to go back and try again. She was a little bit of a buzzkill, but Easter just happened. Do we all like Easter? Yeah, Easter. I think church is a lot of fun. That's what Easter reminds me of. My dad used to always take me to Catholic church as a child, which is so awesome because I have this medical condition. It's called orthostatic hypertension, and that's basically low blood pressure on steroids, which means it's awesome for me to be at a venue where you have to sit down and then stand up and then sit down and then stand up and then you do a twirl and then I can see lights everywhere and it's like God's will, and all of a sudden I'm on the ground. And the pastor is like, oh, it's the miracle of Jesus. She's been overtaken and I have a concussion. I have fainted several times in church. I do not recommend fainting, and if you are going to faint, I strongly do not recommend doing it in a church because you'll be on the ground, like dead adjacent, and they will continue business as usual, and you can't really blame them because it's like they've seen this show before. People are dead adjacent, they get back up in 3 days, they get a new holiday out of it. So sometimes like I'll wake up from fainting in church and I'm being lowered into a tomb instead of an ambulance, which is, it's not that bad because I think being like the second coming of Christ is cheaper than the American healthcare system. So it works out for me. But I stopped going to church like 5-10 years ago because as a straight cis girl, a lot of the discussion around like the LGBTQ plus community didn't sit right with me. Like I have a lot of friends and peers that are in that community, and so it just like was really uncool. Actually, my boyfriend is gay, and I couldn't break up with him because it would have been homophobic. So we're just riding it out. But like my girlfriend and I are really supportive of him. We're gonna stand with him through this. My girlfriend, on the other hand, it's like I don't know if she's gay. She hasn't said anything. She really likes oat milk. And she also really likes pussy, but I just don't know. So I think if the bacon thing doesn't send me to hell, then that might. But I'm actually getting a call. It's the big man upstairs, and he says that they're adding a 10th circle to hell for people that are so far in the closet that it's like Narnia, and he needs me to check it out. So that's my time. Thank you all. You've been great.